soil, and America seems to be struggling to overcome a combination of bureaucracy and technological limitations in time to address it. For more than 2 straight weeks last December, swarms of drones of varying sizes, flying at varying altitudes in well-orchestrated formations, violated the strictly controlled airspace over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, sitting directly across the Chesapeake Bay from Naval Station Norfolk, the largest naval base on the planet. These drones, some with wingspans of over 20 feet, would arrive about an hour after sunset, cruising at around 100 miles per hour just a few hundred feet off the ground. They'd zoom over the hangars that house America's F-22 Raptors, then out over the bay toward the headquarters for SEAL Team 6, and past the most dense collection of national security facilities on American soil, prompting many to ask whose drones were these, why were they there, and maybe most notably of all, why didn't we shoot them down? So again, make sure to follow that link in the description below so that you can get in on the War Thunder action. Despite wave after wave of large, seemingly non-commercial drones penetrating the protected airspace over Langley Air Force Base all throughout December of 2023, the first official acknowledgement of these incursions didn't reach the public until March of this year, when the commander of NORAD and NORTHCOM, U.S. Air Force General Gregory Guillotte, publicly testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee. NORAD, or the North American Aerospace Defense Command, is a joint U.S.-Canadian command responsible for monitoring and defending the airspace above North America, while U.S. NORTHCOM, or Northern Command, is tasked with defending the American homeland. I'll quote the general now. As part of my 90-day assessment, to tell the truth, the counter-UAS, or uncrewed aircraft systems mission, has dominated that so far in the first month. Of course, I knew it was an issue coming from another combatant command, CENTCOM, where we faced that threat in a very different way because of the environment, but I wasn't prepared for the number of incursions that I see. I've gone into events at Joint Base Langley Eustis, and I'm using that as the centerpiece of my 90-day assessment. Now, as you may have noticed from the wording of that quote, these drone incursions may have been most severe over Langley, but that wasn't the only place they'd occurred. 2 months prior, in October of 2023, 4 drones were detected entering the airspace above the Nevada National Security Site, where experiments relating to things like the disposition of damaged nuclear weapons are conducted. A 5th drone, seemingly not detected by local systems, was also said to be spotted by eyewitnesses on site. Between December 2019 and January 2020, law enforcement officials in Colorado, Nebraska, and Kansas were bewildered by waves of large and small drones, flying in carefully coordinated grid pattern formations that seemingly didn't violate any federal laws, but did raise serious security concerns because of the mystery surrounding their origins and operators. This time, I'll quote Colorado Senator Cory Gardner. I think this shows a significant gap in our understanding and national security understanding of the threat drones pose. If we can't find out who they are, how they're being controlled, who's controlling them, what's to keep a nation like Iran or North Korea from looking at this instance and saying, boy, now we should come out and do the same thing with cameras and sensor equipment to find out the kinds of things that would help with international security. So I think it's a concern. A few months prior to that, in September of 2019, drones also violated the airspace over the Palo Verde nuclear generating station, seemingly focused on the area around one of the plant's pressurized water reactors. Between 5 and 6 drones were reported in the power plant's restricted airspace 2 nights in a row, and then they ended as mysteriously as they began.